Hi, it's Jatia. I thought I would pop on, have it interacting whenever it's real. I'm just reading. There's little notes new. I guess I haven't gone live in a second. I think it's been since last week. And they've just been changing the internet. You'll probably be noticing that different things are on the internet and aren't on the internet that used to be on there. This is why so many of us that have been on this journey of what you'd call time travel have done screenshots over and over and over. I mean, I think I have 95,000 pictures. And listen to what I'm saying, because this is how we were able to keep track of these changes that come in year after year and compound year after year. You have to have a way to keep up with it. And so for a lot of us starseeds, and I think Don's the only one on here right now, a lot of us starseeds and the ones of us who are the ancients that activated to bring this frequency back in, because it's what the hell's been going on. We, even on the research that we were doing, where we were at, what was happening on significant days of change, when you saw the weird guy walking down the street in the hot dog uniform, take a picture, take a screenshot, go back. If you've been doing that, or you've been randomly doing that, but you don't know why, and you have all of these screenshots, or just of your research, you go research something, you take a screenshot, go back last year, take a look at what your pictures are. Go back 2 years, go back 3 years. You can go all the way back to 2020 for sure. But this is how you keep track of what's changing and what's building. It keeps you sane, because you don't realize that all you're doing is looping back around in that same astronomical, not astrological, astronomical energy that's coming back in, that's going to print your reality. Now, it doesn't matter what you know or don't know about anything, except if you can just understand that the astronomy alignments are why everything happens down here. Astronomy alignments are why the wars get started when they do. It's why when they move money when they do. It's when they build what they do. And the reason is because you're using energy from the human realm. It's basically when you talk about human harvesting, and well, if we're claiming the harvest, but then nobody knows what to do with it, the energy is just sitting there, then we as a collective can claim harvest all day long, but then somebody's going to show up in order to manage it for us. Because the human race is having to remember how to use these collective currents, and you're having to also remember how to master the energy of it. Now, not everybody's going to have all the answers. Each one of us have different answers for different alchemy cycles, and how we communicate in telepathy and how we communicate through the DNA is what has always made it so powerful, even if you didn't realize that you were connected and you weren't using it. So right now, I just haven't popped on for a minute, so I thought that I would come on and just give just a little bit of an update for September. If you've been following the Bama, I'm losing track, because we're still following it. We're getting all the keys for next year. We're going to have way more of an idea of how to use this energy and what's happening with everybody as you come through the cycles by the time we finish October this year. What's happening right now is that we are in week 16. We're going to start week 17 next week, but we're in Emperor Empress energy, and September is all about Emperor and Empress. Now, if you've been following on Bama, we had Pentacles, we had Knights, we had King Queen energy, but each week was a different element. Not this month, and not next month. It's like as you're building up your energy current and your telepathy and your ability to move and harness and create with and transmute energy in groups, because it's how you do it. Not a coven where everyone knows their name. Naturally within the system that's hitting different dimensions of space and time, and thousands, sometimes millions of people are picking up your knowledge or picking up your little hack, and we're all working together on this 5-layered chessboard. But you have to build that back up in the knowing of how the system works. So, you know, for the ancients, like that I activated, because the ancients, you know, that were in the earth, that are coming out of your solar system, the ones that have been bound in it, that everyone's been attached to this whole time, which is what made this a prison planet. So what I'm saying is your ancestors that were imprisoned here are getting out. Every single one of the humans that are on this in these grids now has a back door and a way out to expand your energy with the whole world. And you got to prove it. It's actually brilliant how it's set up. Because with this mimic stuff, and with people changing names and stealing names, and mass groups of people stealing names and stealing your mail, and blah, 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 and you have so many names when you're a feminine, that's what created the game. If the names never changed, then we wouldn't even have a game for them to play. So when you walk through the process in a natural way, you're actually proving it with your DNA by making the connections and making the changes. And then it's, okay, are you doing it for just yourself? Are you doing it for the collective? Do you understand the macrosity of what the collective needs? You know, these are all the things that we call tests. That as you come through these different energies, as the year progresses, that each year after year, especially the next 3 to 4 years, not even counting 2025, September is Emperor and Empress energy. Well, that's the energy that we came in with. From a macro perspective, from me, like as a soul perspective, having to go claim all of these Mason timelines and energy timelines and all these different queens, and proving that they were pretty much all the same being on different timelines, and all these things that my team has done for the past, that all started around, I guess, 2020, 2019. All the confusion was in the King Queen energy. And the Emperor and Empress energy is continents, you know, it's bigger than even Charles and all the land that he owns. You know, there's really only 1 or 2 characters that are walking around in our 3D world that have in some ways set on the feminine's head, because they really didn't even claim emperor or empress energy. They didn't claim, they didn't have any way, because they weren't an emperor or empress. So it's not like the emperor and empresses that are running things down here and making a bunch of chaos and making war and making all these things, because I won't name the name, but there's the one that's keep popping up in my mind is a masculine, and he's in Iran. And then I feel like there's a feminine that's controlling more of the Middle Eastern energy, but they didn't have the ability to send out all the information and to actually change the land and to terraform and to do what an emperor or an empress is really supposed to be doing. All they could do was basically sit on top of all the energy that they had claimed from everybody throughout the process. So it's like how I started out this video where I'm saying, it's not that they were the emperor empress. It's everyone else had claimed. There wasn't a huge bunch of us that could collect and actually maintain and run and finish transmutation of those energies. So it's basically like the ones that were running things down here, you'll find as you go throughout your process, they's just sitting on top of a tree limb waiting and watching for us to do everything else. And then they'd come out of the shadow and be like, mine. Literally. And it'll blow your mind when you're going through the process of how far we've gotten before. Because if there is somebody that was sitting there that was like, oh, mine, thanks for doing the work. Thanks for your service. That's one of the favorite thing the demons come tell you. By the way, if they say thank you for your service and give you $20, give it back to them. It's a thing. No, thank you for your service. Nope. This ain't free no more. They've never had to really do anything. They've always waited for all of their people to do all the work and then step in and say, mine. So this is why this September we had the black moon. This is why we have 2 new moons in Virgo. So we've got 2 new moons in Virgo. 1 new moon is a partial solar eclipse. We've got a full moon in Virgo, and it's a full lunar eclipse. The full moon in Virgo, full lunar eclipse is going to happen on the 7th. And the day before, we have Uranus, your retina, going retrograde. So Uranus is going retrograde and is stopping right now. So Uranus in the system that causes this swirl and causes this energy to go, it's what red Mercury, it's what nuclear, like if you didn't have Uranus that was attached into all the DNA down here, you wouldn't have nuclear. And by the way, we clear nuclear energy. Do you know how many times they pushed that button? A lot. They really don't have nuclear power without the emperors and empresses and everybody's energy. If they don't have control over us, they don't have that power. And even when they thought they had the power, all it did, nuclear energy, when you get past xenon, if you go look at the atmospheric layers, when you get past xenon, basically what nuclear energy is the energy past xenon. Well, when you get in that energy, you're like, you can't move. It's like you have no motor. The energy, the air has no motor. It's like you get stuck because there's no movement. That's what nuclear does. Well, we've already shot all the way through that. That was 2022. When the collective cleared nuclear energy, it's when the I can't even think, Easter Island. It's when the exact moment that we cleared nuclear energy is when the statues of Easter Island shifted, fell, something. We have all these events because we walked it, so we know. Because energetically, all we're doing as a human race is being able to expand our etheric body, which you don't have when you start this journey. You don't have an etheric. You do, but you're not attached to it. The emperors and empresses have been running it. So I think, one of the main thing that the human race has got to get through their head, and this is for all my technical people. Any of you that are just following Bitcoin, you're just following tech. See, we can teach you ascension, and we can help you ascend by by watching Bitcoin. We can talk about hair production and new hair growth. We can talk about a whole bunch. You can watch a whole bunch of different things and ascend your energy. But if you think that you don't have to clean your field, if you don't have to clean your body, if you feel like you don't have to if you're just going to keep, you don't have to say you're sorry. You don't have to fix nothing. You think that you can just take what you've got from the old world and then throw a whole bunch of new world crap on top of it, and you think that that's going to sustain in some way? You're wrong. You're wrong. You got to clean your energy. You have to clean your body. You have to grow your etheric body, which is connected in with a whole bunch of other people, because you've been wound up in a 33 Mason energetic that had you running around like a firefly in a bubble. Every single one of us. I don't care who the hell you are. It's just a bunch of us were 100% activated in order to give us the chance in 2017 in order to complete this whole thing. If the human race and the human body was connected enough and made to an extent, and every single thing that's happened down here with AI, with even cloning, all of it was used in order to assist us, in order to get our body template that can hold the earth and the human currents together in units, not eunuchs, and not a ballless person, a eunuch. But that's what they were used for. The process of activating your recessive genes, which is connected to space. So what I'm telling you is that yes, you've got to do the parts, and so many of our men, in fact, all of our men. So this isn't an attack on anybody. All of our men, none of them got through it. We even gave them an extra 4 years, which is why you had a Biden. And that's why you don't get no more time. We made the mistake in 2020 giving everybody an extra 4 years because we were worried, because we knew that you would have a hard time getting it, because we were having a hard time getting it, and we weren't even getting paid for it. The only reason that the feminine had to do and keep going is because the feminine didn't get anything. Not a thing. For doing everything. Not even dropping the bit. That was the feminine. Feminine did it. Y'all want to give it to a man. You want to give the Nobel Peace Prize to the men who did this to you. You want to write up articles and put the books out and make a mass production in the movies to the ones who did this to you. The masculine is getting paid, was continually getting paid more and more and more and more to mess with the feminine. That's why the masculines didn't get it. As a human, you literally, to make this level of change that we had to make over the past 3 or 4 years, and in a human body, you literally have to lose everything to realize how it really works in order to learn how to transmute your own energy. I don't want that for y'all. Should have never had to happen to begin with. Should have never had to happen to begin with. You shouldn't have to lose everything and have to lose every single thing that you have as you come through this process. Now, the more that you act like you don't got to create space and you can just hire some women and put some women and bind some women to your team, and then they're going to be your suitcases and backpacks, and then you're not going to even pay them for doing it. You're not going to give them any credit for doing it. That's the part that's not going to sustain, because those women that you've got bound now have a ceiling that's been blown out. And I can promise you, the ones that you're ciphering out of and siphoning, they're going to raise, because they're in our consciousness, not yours. They become our backpack, not yours. And in our backpack, you get paid because it's all balanced. It's the only way it's going to expand. In the 33 Masonry, it was all about who can I plug in, who can I hook in with a J, because it's all Babylonian in astronomy. And what I mean by Babylonian is it's what it's called in every language and what frequency that word means and what everyone believes it is in order to manifest. We activated so many men during this. Now, this was in the beginning whenever we first activated, and it was a little scary to watch us activate because the world had never seen an activation like the ones my teams went through all around the world. However, they all immediately knew that we were making a change in some way, and then it was shortly after because typically they would start crying. You start crying, you can't stop crying. This is my men. This is normal. It's normal. With the men, it seems to even hit worse with the waterworks. You know why? You've been utilized to bind yourself and the ones that you were here to protect. You've been the ones hurting them. You were utilized to do it. Did you know? Not all the time. Did a bunch of them know? More than you can anticipate. There were entire rings and organizations that we've been fighting for 4 years down here that you call covens, and you call this, and you call that, and you call this, and you call... But no matter. It's just a 33 Masonry, and the men were messed with, believe it or not, mentally and physically even more than the women. Believe it or not. Because the men don't have, there's pieces of the creation cycle that when you are masculine and you can't give birth. That's why a woman holds 9 dimensions from the get. And a woman has these negative spaces of energy, and the woman and the female in you or in your family or your mother or your sister or your aunt or your grandmother or your matriarch, I don't know, or lead papa mama, they're the ones that are going to be holding your energetic space. Women know how to hold space. We've had to learn a whole bunch of new tricks and remember a whole bunch on how we manage large groups of space. And this is what you call alchemy. Not magic, physics, and alchemy, and how those work with biospheres of everybody on the planet at the same time. So when we talk about alchemy, we're not talking about magic. Magic's in one little room. It's in one little dome. It's gonna have very specific things that you're telling this energetic to do, because it's gonna be planned down to the detail of where you want that energy to go. That's manipulation. That's magic. Mass alchemy is sitting up in the cosmos, watching the human race create a sequence as others are clearing, and y'all are shedding your old 33 layers, and then you're slowly, and then you're coming up and you're popping your head through the cosmos for the first time, because using a little firefly body. And mass alchemy is us all watching all these heads pop up and then going, whoa, oh my God, what are we going to do with that one? Whoa, there goes one to the right. So now we've got energy coming from the left and energy coming through the right. Okay, they can't hit each other. And for those of us who have this ancient knowledge that we're all connected down here in a unit in order to turn it back on, you just don't know all of our names yet, and we haven't all met each other yet, but that's how it works. The other thing I'll say, every single character that you ever knew about in history, I don't care if it was a deity, a demigod, I don't care if it was Hitler, or I don't care. You name it. They're walking around down here now and have been. Everybody's here. Archangel Michael, here. Archangel Gabriel, here. And it's an energetic unit that, yes, is collective. And yes, it goes around collectively. And yes, you step into different currents of this energy and learn different things. But is there a being down here holding Archangel Michael? Yes. But it's not Michael, it's Gemini. And basically, their whole gypsy line is what the Matrix ended up being. Whenever you understand how this works with astronomy. If you are one of these characters, like my whole life, I walked out Mary Queen of Scots. Let me give you an example. And this isn't me bragging by any means, because when you also realize that when you are the character, all that means is that you're walking the rerun of that life. Again. And you have been since you were born. Because it's who you're written as in the Matrix. So I'm saying this because a lot more of y'all are finding out, at least in the Matrix, who you were. Because am I Mary Queen of Scots? Well, could I? I'm from that line. Can I recall all those memories? Yes. Why? Because it was where the three London. You had Europe. You had Scotland. And what's the other one? I always forget the other one. So it's where the Trinity came together. And if you're written into the Matrix because that's who you were, and then a part of how you were made to get back down here, because I don't incarnate. I only incarnate whenever we're going through rewrites. And most of us do. Because whenever you come into this matrix, all the things that are in your codes are going to happen. There's going to be wars. There's going to be galactic wars. Even the dinosaurs coming back in could have been when a bunch of us came back in. Because it's going to reprint in the lower dimensions. When you go looking up characters, and of who you think you might be, go read about their life. If you had the same amount of children as them, and oh my gosh, I even accidentally named my son Rex James. Like, when I was unconscious, I didn't even realize. And the whole thing with the demonic thing versus the Vatican thing, this is why I'm his mother. And I can explain how that even happened. But it's going to bring us up to current governmental experiments and black ops. How it happened back then, even. You'll end up naming, then what am I? I'm up in a room, I'm in a tower, I get taken out of the collective. I can't talk to my son for 19 years. Then 19 years later, on a certain day, then they're just going to decide to pull us out and take our head off. Well, that's astronomical why they did that. If you go back and look at the exact day that they did it, it's like waiting for they had to sit there and wait for all this cosmic stuff to line up. They had to keep. So my point is, in my world, that's how I know, and this is how you'll know, because if you go read the story, you've acted out a 21st century version of it. Whatever it is. In the higher energies, we work together as a collective. And none of that shit really even fucking matters. This is where we lost a lot of the spiritual community, because everybody wanted to be ISIS, and everybody wanted to be this, and everybody wanted to be that, and I'm this and I'm that. Well, when you say it, then you become it. Then you've got to prove it. And if you're not, then you're going to get your ass kicked. So you want to be really careful about, whenever I first activated in 2017, because I didn't know any of this. But I'm an ancient. I was hidden here, and I'm the one who went back into the planet as the bride to rebirth the entire cosmic system. My team and me have walked every single bit of it. That's how we know what we know. And everyone that's worked with us in different stages. And it had never been done before. What we pulled off down here had never been done before in human history. What we pulled off down here was impossible even for the old deities and gods to do. This is why all the anointed and chosen ones are unstoppable at this point, because we freed the beings that they had enslaved to run their game. We got the highers and the lowers backing us. In fact, the lowers and the under are backing us more than even the highers right now, because we're freeing them. These groups that are calling entities to come get us, you're trying to lock them back into a lower density to do your bidding, whenever I've already opened the gate and they're on their way out and they're packing their bags to leave their little cylinder, and you just called them back in to come do some of your dirty work against the one who freed them. Who do you think they're going to back? And we personalize this energy, because as a human being, it's very difficult to think of an energy just having a personality without it being a person. But for the most part, it's just energy, and it's taken on a personality in a lower frequency, and it isn't even a bunch of covens. It's all the masses going about their everyday life and hasn't changed anything, and so much ritual that intention that is being done in your everyday life that you haven't taken the time to adjust what you're doing and figure out why you're doing it. And so basically, like, the human race just running in the old cylinder without any coven magic, without anybody making any low density energy at all, is still going to create low density energy because the system is creating it, and the humans running around in Walt Disney World are still going into the underground gates, not realizing it. And the further that you get out and enlighten, they call it enlightenment, but this isn't a choice anymore. You no longer have a choice. Do you want to get enlightened? No. You have to freaking get enlightened in order to survive. And you have to do it in order to create anything in the new energy of where the physics is going. Honey, I am the reason that there is a watch list. You can bet your ass. Like, you're going to come over here and put that on me? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with you people. This is why I don't show up and help you. This is why I've been so quiet. What's wrong with y'all? Should the one who's freeing the system and had to hide in here in order and be processed all over again with the human race to blow it up, you think I should be put in jail for that? You realize that you just saying it and does somewhat have a correlation to what happens, right? It's like everybody's screaming about the powers that are running them, but y'all help them. You keep helping them. This is why the blood changed. Thank God we changed the blood. None of y'all can stop us from doing shit. And you can't make anything happen for us anymore. But you just defined for me what propaganda was all about. That's why the blood changed. That's why we changed the blood. So that beings that don't know what the fuck they're talking about can't be mind fucked to say and think whatever it is they want you to think, so that y'all can do it to us, because they can't do it to us. Only the entire collective can sway art, and you got to convince every single one of them at this point all over the world. But it's like the human race, for whatever reason, like in the low frequencies, it's like I really don't get it, you know. And this is the part that y'all are just gonna have to witness it, and it is what it is. We had to, like. We wouldn't have known any of this if we wouldn't have got our ass kicked. This is how you look at really stupid people. I used to have a couple of friends. I loved them to death, but they were not smart, and I loved it about them. It's why they were my friends. I had brains up here that my brain was constantly, because we were always what we are. And I had these friends that just kind of lollydatical, like they were so that didn't think about anything, just freaking showed up wherever, kind of did whatever you told them to, and somehow or another they would end up on top of things and bringing in things that it just blew my mind, because I'm like, how the F balls. Now, when it started changing, it's like these beings that didn't have anything that ever happened to them in their life, they could just kind of lollygag around the world. Whenever that energy shifted, everything started happening at once. It's energetic. If you're not supporting the ones, you know, this is why Christ is here. No shit, there were 40,000 of us down here. Not just one. And by the way, every single religion that says that there isn't a Christ is built on Christ energy and bound Christ energy, and was cloning it and hybridizing it and making, all saying that it's not the son. You're not the son of God. You're just the son. As they walk around with their little Saturn on their head, or are they covering up their connection to go straight to source? So you're covering up your connection to go straight to source. Then who are you giving that power to? Well, whoever you're giving that power to is no longer controlling us. That's the only thing that's changed. And this shit goes deep. Every single brand, Giorgio Armani dying. Every single brand that's been down here, every single actor, every single movie has all been something astronomical that has played out, that somebody has just peeped a version of and brought it in. And we can prove it. So this month, you can basically think of it as the 33D Emperor, Empress energetics, and what it was holding at the highest and the lowest to keep time the way it was, and to keep certain DNA lines down, is completely flipping this year for the very first time, because Mars is getting balanced. Next year, September, Venus will be in Libra. 2027 in September, Jupiter is going to be in Libra. Now, and Mercury and a bunch of stuff. Like, I think 2027 is going to be the big one, which is why there's some talk already about eclipse that people thought was happening in 2025, but it's happening in 2027. My point is, it's starting right now. These eclipse and this Uranus and this energetic is starting right now, and it's not gonna wash up completely and completely balance out and everything just like the 2017 eclipse chain just ended. Well, this cycle that's starting right now in 2025 is because every year we're going to go through this Bama every year. And each year we're going to be building up more and more and more and more into our currents from every end, up and down and side to side. Next year, Venus is going to be here. So Mars is here right now. So this is why and Mars is just now showing up with a projector dense enough for you to witness what's been going on for years. You can think of it like that. Mars in Libra, and especially because right now Mars is in Arcturus. And then it's going to go through Spica, and then it's going to go through Izar. And you can think of Libra and the balance beam line of Libra over to Aries as a whale or even a big turtle, because this is the flat earth thing, because this is what I'm telling you. All you flat earthers, the bitch you were living on's coming up and coming out. So what are you going to do? You can think of it like a blowhole. So like if you're Libra and you're the turtle, whenever you get right here, it's gonna blow once you if you made it off, if you got weighed and you weighed, if you're light as a feather. If you're not light as a feather, then you're going to loop back around into Leo, and your energy is going to be used to push the Leos and whatever the Leos have going on. And trust me, I was trapped in that for a while, and it is a son of a bitch. And this is also why the Libra had all the codes to all the Leos. So Leos are even getting rewritten right now. This is why Mercury went back and forth over in Leo, like Leo, but because Leo is not just a sign. Leo is your muscle tissue, your muscle fiber. It's the everything inside your skin, your muscles, the capillaries, the vascular system even, and how that's connected into, that's Leo. So the entire vascular system of the human being and mammals. This is why dogs are getting more smart. Like the dog doesn't argue. Notice how fast they're evolving. Lollydadical. I know, I'm making my own word. You're lost, you say. The zodiac wheel is a body-making machine. It's an energetic filtration system. Each house actually spins energy into another house. Everything down here has a date of when it was created in that wheel system. And it's moving now. And the energies are no longer barred from Leo to get to Virgo. Everything's happening the way it needs to in order to grow, just like a plant. But every single house moves in together and works with it. Whenever when you pull up your astrology point on your astrology chart on equal houses, wherever you were born, you're going to have planets that are going to align with certain degrees. If you have no energy, it means it's full. It doesn't mean it's empty. It's full. You just don't remember. And it's so funny too, because those of you, let me give you an example. You've got an energy in Pisces, you've got Venus something in Pisces, but then you ain't got and it looks like it's empty in Aries, it looks like it's empty in Taurus, it looks like it's empty in Gemini, and then you have something in Cancer. And you're like, okay, well, I'm Pisces and Cancer. No, you're running knowledge, you're running physical transmutation from Pisces through Aries, through Taurus, through Gemini in order to get to you in Cancer. You have a live wire that's connected from Cancer to Pisces, and it's running the whole 3 houses of the wheel, and you're getting it somehow. And once you even realize it, you're going to start realizing that this is why you do the things that you do, that you can't explain that you do. Because it's recessive. You think it's your subconscious. You might even call it a creative idea. Oh, I just had this idea that this is how I'm going to be able to protect myself whenever the energy's in Aries. But you're actually connected into all the energy of the people and all the beings throughout the entire human race since the existence of the human race, and all the residue that it's left in every energetic to walk through it. What chute are you in? Are you in the very low chute where you have no idea that it's even connected, and you're like, oh, okay, go right. Oh, why'd you steal my car? Okay, go to the store, go to the store, go to the bank right now, go to the bank right now, go to the bank right now. Son of a bitch, who got into my account and stole all my money? It's all being run by the subconscious. Believe it or not, those are all programs. Because you got to because in that Pisces to Cancer scenario, you have to, because there was an intuition. The dog got sick right before you left. You thought you had to get to the bank right then. The dog got sick. You knew you shouldn't have left and gone to the bank. Or you might even had a fender bender, or somebody probably ran out in front of your car trying to stop you, but you're like bound and determined to get there. This is how I used to do with buying houses. Oh my gosh. I bought 2 houses in my life, and it always ended a complete horrible. But when I was in the Matrix, I was like, I'm bound and determined to be a solo woman, businesswoman, and I own my own house. And then I'd get into the house process, and it was one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another to buy it. And everything in my intuition was telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But my drive would override it so many times that I was like, no, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm getting what I want. I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm getting what I want. And then it always ended up being something so more severe that I was having to get out of spiritually. That it's like I knew not to do it, but I was so bound and determined to make it happen just to put it over on the man. But then it ended up being, I'm the one who got put out for it for not following my intuition. That's a great example. Those are energy currents that the more that you clear your energy, and the more that you stop blaming other people, and the more that you get back right with yourself and ask your ancestors what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, following the sun and the moon, following cosmic and the cosmic energies, understanding just what energy the whole world is in at the time. Those are all things that help you pick up a higher radio station that tells you what to do and what not to do. But it doesn't always happen in your mind, because your body has more consciousness than you realize. Because, puppets. Is it more coming in knowledge in your mind, or is it more coming in through your body? That's stuff that we'd have to look at your chart and I could tell you. Get a 22. That'll help you. Because there's some star systems are going to be more organic in nature, made from the inside out. Some of them are made from the outside in. Some of you have a mixture of both. Some of us are I'm all organic star systems. I don't, in my natal chart, I don't have any that are mutant or from another. They're all organic. My draconic, opposite. Both had to be developed. Uranus is going backwards in the blue avian degree. So this is the very beginning degrees of Gemini. And basically Gemini, all that is energy that's coming into a lower density, so it splits. You get a high voltage energy like lightning. You're going to see lightning because once it gets into this dimension, it splits. That's why lightning has different branches, and the same thing happens in the body. It splits. In Gemini, you're a little firefly. When you're in the Matrix, whenever everybody's like, I busted out of the Matrix, you busted out of Gemini. What's the next house? Cancer. As soon as you bust out of Gemini, what's the first house that you're going to go into? Cancer. What's the first energy ray? Sirius A. What is that? Your heart. What happens when you first bust out of the matrix? Like your heart is so full of love. Like you're in this euphoric state. It lasts a long time, months. You think it's going to be there forever because it's like you get all of your heart data that's stored up forever back at you all at once. But then what happens? It makes you naive. This is what happened to us. It makes you naive. You think that why it doesn't even make sense. You're in full heart consciousness. It doesn't even make sense. Why are you coming against me? It's like, are you human? I mean, what it doesn't even. And so you just automatically think that everyone's on your side. Well, I'm explaining why you feel that way. Then all the heart consciousness comes in. Then you go into Sirius B. Now it's getting processed in a collective current. Now the whole collective current's getting your downloads. And then you're like, how come when I say it, everyone else says it, and then no one looks at me? How come the whole world is delivering my information, but no one gives me any credit? Welcome to the party. You're in the collective mind. It's what you're here for. You're here to give true heart focused energy to the collective so that the collective can see that there's another choice and that they might need to change their mind. What's after Cancer? Leo. So then once all that energy comes through the heart, comes through the mind, puts back together the soul, which Sirius C was nothing but a fracking machine on a bunch of golden records. You got to get pretty high up on the current in order to be able to get the full deal. But by the way, you're not going to get it all at once. You ain't going to get it all in the first year cycle. That's a matrix way of thinking. It's also quick in, quick out. You notice that whenever you win money or you find money in the matrix, like, and it's and you like get it all of a sudden, how fast it leaves. Oh, I just won $500. Shit, my radiator just went out. It's pretty hard to build a foundation whenever you're expecting quick, because it's going to come in, it's going to come out. You got to lay it. This is why. All that energy that you pull through in your heart, you expand your heart, you expand your collective mind. You literally are grabbing pieces of your soul from old timelines. You wrangle it all up. Then you step into Leo. Well, guess what, baby? Now you're walking it. Now all that is in your physical body, and you're like a giant. Cosmic giant, a dinosaur giant. I don't know what DNA lines you come from, but I can tell you that you can get up to cosmic giant no matter. A lot of them started from cosmic giant and then made a whole bunch of printed animals down here. So whenever you walk into Leo, now you're carrying big boss energy. Yes, you are. It's connected to the ancestors in Aquarius. Everybody that's dead. Everybody that's ever lived in your line, that's walked the story down here, you're channeling it from your body. You ain't thinking about it. You're literally getting led. The ancestors are like, boom, boom, put somebody in. There you go. There's your connection. Because the ancestors are whenever you get into Leo and your body and in Leo, you're working for them. Good or bad. Because there's both. Oh, come on with the puzzle. So I'm describing You get through Leo, you embody it in Leo, you're going through your Leo stuff. If you have a lot of Leo energy, you're going to have more, or if you have a lot of Cancer energy, you're going to go through more body discomfort. You can't get out of it. You're going to, I mean, most of us who brought in this energy in the 70s, I mean, you realize that before we got here, migraines weren't even a thing, right? In the 60s is when migraines even started. There wasn't a thing as migraine. This is why, I mean, I had them so debilitating. So debilitating in the 70s, especially in the 80s. But that's only because pressure, and you're such a live wire, and what's happening is you're boiling. You're at a boiling point and everything's is constricting. But my point is, there weren't migraines before this energy got here. Your neurons are clearing and connecting recessive gene patterns that have been blocked in the cosmos from getting to you. So now that energetic sequence is happening out there. It's hitting you down here. You're going to have a headache. Guess what? Heartburn. You know how you get that heartburn right in your solar plexus all of a sudden, and you hadn't eaten anything. It's like all of a sudden, where'd that come from? Guess what? That's money energy. Whenever you blow through in the ethers and you're connecting and you're connecting back and you're building, and someone's taken a trust or a will, or this happen. I mean, this is in races. This is in states, even, like, because it's gated to all hilt. You go through an area and you break that, it's probably going to rain, snow, and you might get heartburn. And you'll probably get the heartburn first before it rains or snows, because that burning in your sacral is what is causing it to bust. But it's connected to money energy. You ever notice that the ones who are running the company and might have the most stress or whatever, this is why their stomachs get so big and they constantly have indigestion? Because they're running a lot of money energy. The dirtier it is, the more it has to be cleared. This is what the mobs did. This is what the mafia had the girl collective for. Not anymore. So I'm going to get off now. I just wanted to pop on and give y'all some what we're seeing. I can tell you that we do have the Libra sweatshirt came in. We're going to be getting those up on the internet. We got the sweatshirts. We're going to be doing pants to match. The Libra, these frequencies work. This stuff works. And this is all at coCHEE32.com. The blankets, the healing blankets, all the colors in the houses. And you can believe me or not, I don't care, but it works. And what I will tell you too is that we all ordered a bunch of Cancer energy for our homes in spring. And it was because Jupiter's in Cancer right now. And this is what we've, as a collective, this is like the inside of the crab had to be completely redone. Now the crab's going to come out and the shell ain't on the outside. It's morphed into the skin and it's just bulletproof. But all of a sudden, in the past 24 hours, my team has been like I woke up and my Cancer blanket was on the floor. I'm surprised this hasn't fallen off yet. It's all about Capricorn. It's already all about Capricorn and grounding those energies and changing the tune, because it's a harp. So and I woke up because I see these planetary clearings and things in my visions, because I've been such a pivotal point in rewriting all of it. And this morning, it's like now what we did order yesterday is that what we ordered yesterday was that anything that we no longer needed in our system to be eclipsed and deleted. If we don't need it anymore, then delete it. Now, for a lot, this could even be about Armani died, because for a lot of the old rerun systems, that's what we don't need anymore. The fact that it's even replaying over and over again is why we don't have a timeline to step in on. So I'm going to get off here now. It's 129, 111. We're on plan. This is Libra energy. We're in Arcturus energy. I'll come on this week again and talk a little bit more about Arcturus. But I will say this right before I hang up. Everybody in this new world wants to think Arcturus is just like these sweet healers. Like, I don't know what it is that everyone that they want to talk about Arcturus as an alien, a blue alien being that is like this motherly fairy godmother, and that's only half the truth. You could also take every single nun that you were ever fearful of in your life and put them into the same thing. Arcturus and Regulus were in the second ascension, and Arcturus was the ones who went to hell. You were either bound into the land, bound to be the planet, bound as the Irish, searched and hunted as a witch, or you were in the royal family and kissing their ass. So Arcturus is major shadow macro. Major shadow. That's why the picture showed up on top of the sun right now. Arcturus also is in that blowhole. So energetically, Arcturus goes straight up, and then it starts a circulation like this. Then what happens in the middle of all that is Spica. And then that energy is going to fly over to Izar and then connect into Izar at 27 degrees of Libra, which is where the strings are being held to Capricorn. Okay? That's how it works. You got to go through the whole process. You got to go through the middle of the donut. You got to come out in Spica. Spica is where, once you go through this process correctly and you balance it, this is every word you speak starts coming true. This is the prophecy. Spica is also in the Bible. It's the wheat. Every single human down here is going through that process. Right now, Mars is just now coming into Arcturus. So it's that's why I've been talking about these macro energies, and stop thinking someone's attacking you all the time, and just realize that you're going against a system that's been running for a long time. And in order to make it stop, you're going to have some type of physical showdown in your energetic. The more that you realize that it's not one person that's doing it to you, and you try to go search out who's doing it to you, you're never going to find out. The more that you just understand that when something challenging comes up, it's because you've changed the system and it had to stop, the less you'll get attacked. Please hear what I'm telling you. This is not the energy to go think that you're some warrior fucking princess or prince if you've never had one, if you've never done any of it before. Because you're going to get schooled. coCHEE32.com. Go check it out. House of coCHEE. The best living crystals you're ever going to get in the